update. Mom sold my college fund to buy my brother a Porsche. Joke's on her, I own the bank that holds their mortgage now. Tomorrow, they'll beg. And I'll say no, part 2. Signs of my parents' financial collapse became impossible to ignore, even for them. It started with small things. The household staff was temporarily reduced. Their country club membership became inactive. And suddenly, my mother discovered a passion for vintage fashion. But Alexander's lifestyle never changed. Even as the family finances crumbled, my parents continued funding his every whim. The day I saw him drive past my bookstore in a brand new Porsche, I knew they had finally hit rock bottom. I was in my real office, not the cramped bookstore back room where I pretended to work, but my actual office on the 47th floor of downtown Chicago's most prestigious building. As CEO of Wright Investments, I had a perfect view of the city my grandmother had helped build. "Miss Wright," my assistant Sarah buzzed in. "Your brother just made another withdrawal from your parents' emergency fund." I pulled up the banking records on my screen. There it was, $175,000 transferred to a luxury car dealership. Money they definitely didn't have. "How much do they have left?" I asked, though I already knew the answer. "Less than $50,000, Mom. And their mortgage payment is due next week." I leaned back in my chair, thinking about the careful web I'd woven over the past year. Through various holding companies, I owned not just their mortgage, but all their outstanding debt, every credit card, every loan, every desperate attempt to maintain their facade of wealth. I controlled it all. "Schedule the foreclosure notices," I instructed Sarah. "It's time." The next morning, I arrived at the bookstore early, knowing what was coming. Right on schedule, my mother burst through the door, her designer handbag genuine, but last season. "Sophia," her voice was shrill with panic. "Something terrible has happened. The bank, they're saying they're going to foreclose on the house." I looked up from the ledger I was pretending to review. "What? How is that possible?" "Your father, there have been some business setbacks, but it's just temporary. We just need a little help." She reached across the counter, gripping my hand. "Darling, how much do you have saved?" I almost laughed. After years of mocking my little bookstore job, she was now eyeing my supposed savings like a lifeline. "Mom, I make $35,000 a year. After rent and bills, I'd barely save anything." Her face fell. "But surely you must have something." "An emergency fund. I have about $3,000 saved," I lied. "But that's everything." "We need it," she said immediately. "Just until your father's deals come through. Alexander has some very promising ventures in the works." I sat back, studying her. "What about Alexander's new Porsche? Couldn't he sell that?" "Don't be ridiculous," she snapped. "He needs to maintain appearances. How else will he attract the right kind of investors? And my appearance doesn't matter." "That's different." She waved her hand vaguely. "You're just not in those circles anyway." In those circles, I thought about the charity gala I'd be hosting next month as Eleanor Wright's heir, where half of Chicago's elite would be in attendance. But my mother didn't know about that. "I'm sorry, Mom. I can't empty my savings account. I need to pay rent." She stood up, anger replacing desperation. "How can you be so selfish? After everything we've done for you, what exactly have you done for me?" The question hung in the air between us. For a moment, confusion crossed her face as if she were genuinely trying to remember any significant thing they'd done to help me succeed. "We gave you a good home, an education. The education I paid for with student loans. You mean the same loans you refused to help with because you were funding Alexander's third startup? That's not fair. Alexander has vision. He just needs support, too." "Gab." My voice was quiet but firm. "Excuse me. Get out of my store, Mom. And don't ask me for money again." She left in a fury of slammed doors and threats, but I wasn't worried. Everything was proceeding exactly as planned. That evening, I received another call, this time from my father. "Sophia, we need to discuss this situation like adults," he began, his business negotiation voice in full effect. "Your mother tells me you were quite unhelpful today. I can't give you my savings, Dad. Now listen here, young lady. This family has a reputation to maintain. We can't have the house foreclosed. Do you have any idea what that would do to our standing, to Alexander's prospects?" I thought about the foreclosure notices being prepared in my lawyer's office at that very moment. Maybe Alexander could help. He just bought a new Porsche. He must have money. That's different. That was an investment in his future. He needs to project success to be successful. "And what about my future?" He sighed heavily. "Sophia, let's be realistic. You work in a bookstore. Your future is, well, it's already set, isn't it? But Alexander has real potential." The words stung, even though I'd heard variations of them my entire life. "I'm sorry, Dad. I can't help." "Then you're no daughter of mine." The line went dead. I sat in my luxurious office looking out over the city lights and smiled. Now comment update to tag you on part 3.